In this case, the function f real number, the set of real numbers a to b, is defined as fx is equal to mod x by x for x not equal to 0. So when x not equal to 0, it takes the value mod x by x, and equal to 0 when x is equal to 0. Okay. Now, because we know the definition of mod, we can modify this function a little bit to express it in a more convenient form. That is, we can write fx is equal to, you can write, because mod x is equal to x for x greater than 0, you can write this as x by x for x greater than 0, since mod x is equal to x for x greater than 0, right, is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0. So this is very clear, right? And is equal to minus x by x for x less than 0, since mod x is equal to minus x for x less than 0. Okay. And you can simplify this. So finally, the signum function can also be expressed in this form. X by x is 1 for positive x, is equal to 0 for x equal to 0, and equal to minus 1 for negative x. Okay. So this is a more convenient form of writing the signum function. This is a standard form of the signum function. Okay. What you must note here is that if you see fx can take only three values, 1, 0, and minus 1. So therefore, what should be the range of f? Range of f can only be three elements in the set. Because for these two sets, if you see, whatever value of x you take here, whatever value of x that you take here, all are mapped to only three elements, right? So therefore, the range of f is the set of three elements only. Okay. Now we come to an important definition, which is called the even and odd functions. We shall not be using the definition of even and odd functions much in class 11, except a few sums. But the concept of even and odd functions is very important for class 12. Okay. Now, what is an even function? Even function, for any given function, if you take f of minus x and you see that it is equal to fx, then we say that fx is an even function. Okay. Two examples. Suppose if I give you fx is equal to x square, and I want you to check whether this is an even function or an odd function. So what you do is you first find out f minus x. How much is f minus x? F minus x, if you see, is minus x square, because you replace x by minus x, and minus x square is nothing but x square. So what do you see here, that that fx was x square, and you also saw that f minus x is also equal to x square. So since fx is the same as f minus x, hence we say fx is an even function. Okay. First example. Second example is, suppose I give you fx is equal to cos x, right? You want to check whether this is an even function or an odd function. So we find out f minus x. So how much is f minus x? We replace x by minus x. You again get cos x. So if we see, fx is equal to cos x and f minus x is also equal to cos x. So since fx is equal to f minus x is equal to fx, therefore fx is an even function. Then even function. Okay. Now we'll see what an odd function is. So now let's see what an odd function is. Okay. Now if f minus x is equal to minus fx, then we say fx is an odd function. Okay. Examples. Number one, let's say fx is equal to, I give you x cube. So you want to check whether this is an even or odd. You find out f minus x. You replace x by minus x. So you again get minus x cube. Now if you see minus x cube, this is a minus sign and fx is equal to x cube. So you can write x cube is equal to fx. So what you see is f minus x is equal to minus fx. So therefore we say that fx is an odd function. Okay. And suppose if you have fx is equal to, I give you fx is equal to sin x. How do you check whether this is an odd function? Again, you find out f minus x. Replace x by minus x, and you know sin minus x is minus sin x, and sin x is what? Fx. So this is minus fx. So what I have shown is that f minus x is equal to minus fx. So therefore fx is an odd function. Okay. Important definition: even and odd function. We'll work out some problems on even and odd functions after I discuss domain and range, and this concept again we shall apply later on. Okay, let's now come back to domain and range of functions. Look at the first one. Given here, fx is equal to log x square minus 1 to the base 3 plus x. Right? Now, first of all, for log to be defined, what should the base be? Base can be any number that is positive, right? And what else? Base cannot be equal to 1. Right? This is the first restriction. That means this gives you x greater than minus 3, and this gives you x not equal to minus 2. Right? Now, what is the next restriction? That whatever is within the log here, this must be positive, right? So that means x square minus 1 must be positive. That means x plus 1 into x minus 1 must be positive, right? So this means from the method of intervals, you have a greater than sign here, and you have a product of two factors. Which one is the lower one? X plus, if you put x plus 1 is equal to 0, you get x is equal to minus 1. If you put x minus 1 is equal to 0, you get x is equal to 1. So lower one is minus 1. Then because you have a greater than sign, x must be less than minus 1 and x must be greater than 1, right? So you have 4 conditions here. X has to be greater than minus 3, x cannot be equal to minus 2, x has to be less than minus 1, and x has to be greater than minus 1. If you check this on the lumber line in your rough, let's say this is the point minus 2, the point minus 3, this is the point minus 1, and let's say this is the point 1. Now if you see x is greater than minus 3, so that means it can take all values that are greater than minus 3. X cannot be equal to 2, so it cannot take this value, right? And x has to be less than minus 1. That means from here can take all the values, and x has to be greater than 1, right? All these. So what you see, if you combine these, x can lie between, see, from minus 3 to minus 2, right? So therefore x belongs to minus 3, minus 2, this interval, right? And then from minus 2, where from -2, where it all does it go? It again continues till your
1
-1 here, right?
minus
Right? And then again from 1 it continues till infinity, right? So therefore, what is the domain of f? -3, -2, -2, -1. It can take all these values, and 1 infinity. Okay, so that is what the domain of f is. We'll see the next problem. One part 2. Given here, fx is equal to log x plus 3 to the base 2, and you have x square plus 3x plus 2. Okay, so what is the first restriction here? That the denominator cannot be equal to 0, right? Let's find the values for which denominator is equal to 0. Okay, so this can be factorized to x plus 1 into x plus 2, isn't it? By middle term factorization. That means you have either x is equal to -1 or x is equal to -2. Now remember, for these two values, the denominator becomes 0, right? Also, what is the next restriction? If you see in the numerator, you have a log with x plus 3. So what is the restriction for log? Base you see clearly is 2. So base is okay. Nothing to do here. But what about this value? This value has to be positive, right? That means x must be greater than -3. Right? So what is the condition that you are getting here? X can take any value that is greater than -3. So that means x must belong to any value between -3 infinity, except what values? -1 and -2. So from this interval, you subtract this double time set, and this is the required domain. Clear with this?
yes sir.
Fine. Move on to the next one. One part 3. Given here, fx is equal to sine inverse x minus 3 divided by √9 minus x squared. Okay. First of all, what is the condition for sine inverse? If you see, what is the domain of sine inverse x? It has to lie between this value, x minus 3, has to lie between -1 and +1, right? So what does it give you? If this value lies between -1 and +1, what does this inequality give you? You add 3 to both sides. So what are you getting here? X lies between 2 and 4. This is what you are getting, right? What is the next condition? In the denominator cannot be equal to 0 or less than 0, because you have a radical also. Also, you must have 9 minus x square cannot be less than or equal to 0. So let's find values for which it is equal to 0, and then we'll remove it from the domain. Okay. So what do you get here? You get minus x square minus 9 is less than or equal to 0. Now I multiply both sides by -1. So the inequality sign reverses, right? So you get x plus 3 into x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. So what do you get? You see that if you put x plus 3 is equal to 0, you get x is equal to -3. If you put x minus 3 is equal to 0, you get x is equal to 3. The lower value is -3. So therefore, x has to be less than minus 3 and x has to be greater than 3, right? Okay, so x is less than minus 3 and x is greater than 3. So what are the conditions that we are getting here? X has to be less than minus 3, x is greater than minus 3, and also x has to lie between 2 and 4, right? So therefore, if you take what values can x can take, x cannot be less than minus 3 and x cannot be greater than 3. So therefore, x must belong to what interval? 2 and the 3, but it cannot touch 3. So therefore, we give a parenthesis. Hence, domain of f is 2, 3. Any questions here?
No, sir.
Number 4. Given fx is equal to log 2 plus x by 2 minus x to the base e. Okay. So now what is the restriction here? The restriction here is that whatever is within the log, that has to be greater than 0. Base is e. So do you know what is the approximate value of e is? E is always positive. Do you know the approximate value of e? The value of e is approximately 2.73. Okay. So e is fine. So this is natural log. So this is okay. You don't have to do check anything with the base. The only thing that you have to check is the value of the log. And what should be the value of the, what should log be so that the value of the log is defined as a function? It has to be positive, right? Not even equal to 0. You know what is the value of log 0? Log 0 is infinity. Okay. So when this is a fraction that is positive. So what are the possibilities? That either 2 plus x is positive and 2 minus x is positive, or what is the next possibility? That both are negative. 2 plus x is negative and 2 minus x is negative. That means either x is greater than minus 2 and um, 2 is greater than x, or you can have x is less than minus 2 and 2 is less than x. So you can have either x is greater than minus 2 and now if you just interchange the left hand side and the right hand side, then equality sign reverses. So x less than 2 or x less than minus 2, and again interchange the left and the right hand side, so you get x greater than 2. Okay. Now you see x less than minus 2 and x greater than 2. Is there any real number that is less than minus 2 and at the same time um, not this, but in fact this one, yes, this one, this condition, x is less than minus 2 and x is greater than 2. Is there any real number that is less than 2 and at the same time greater than 2? There is no real number, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, x less than minus 2 and x greater than 2 is absurd, right? So therefore, what is the only possibility? That x is greater than minus 2 and x is less than minus 2. Therefore, x has to be greater than minus 2 and x less than 2. And what does this mean? X greater than minus 2 and x less than 2. That means x lies between minus 2 and 2. Now there's no equality here. Okay, so that means x belongs to what interval? This open interval, -2, 2. Okay, so hence domain of f is -2, 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
We move on to the next one, number 5. This again, you have an inverse trigonometric function here in number 5. Given here, fx is equal to sine inverse, and you have a log to the base 2, half x square. Okay. Now this, first of all, we use a restriction for sine inverse. What is the restriction for sine inverse? What is the domain? That it lies between -1 and 1. So we must have whatever is within the sine inverse, log half x square to the base 2 must lie between -1 and +1. Now from the definition of log, let's write this as x square by 2, 2 to the power of 1, right? From the definition of log, I mean this means half less than or equal to x square by 2 less than or equal to 2. Now in order to remove 2 from the denominator, we multiply both sides by 2. So 2 into half is less than or equal to x square by 2 into 2 less than or equal to 2 into 2. So you get here 1 less than or equal to x square less than or equal to 4. So x square lies between 1 and 4, but we are interested in the value of x, right? So what we do here is we split this. So therefore, 1 less than or equal to x square and 1 x square less than or equal to 4. To split this inequality into 2. That means what do you get here? X square greater than or equal to 1 and x square minus 4 is less than or equal to 0, right? So that means you have x square minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, and you have x plus 2 into x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. That means you have x plus 1 into x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, and you have if x plus 2 into x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0, that means x must lie between -2 and 2, method of intervals, right? And what if x plus 1 into x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0? You have a greater than or equal to sign. Again, method of intervals apply here. Lower value is -1. So x must be less than or equal to -1. And x must be greater than or equal to 1. And you have -2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. Right? Now, if you see, these are the conditions that you are getting only from sine inverse. What is the next condition? The next condition has to be that this has to be greater than 0. But x square by 2 is always greater than 0, isn't it? You don't have to check anything. This quantity will always be greater than 0. X square is always positive, right? So x square by 2 always also has to be positive. So you don't have to check anything for this. So that means the only condition that you are getting here are these three. So now if you combine these three, let's see how to combine. X less than or equal to -1. So x can take any value that is less than or equal to -1. X greater than 1, any value that is greater than 1 inclusive of 1. Okay. And x also lies between -2 and 2. For clarity, we can also check this on the number line.
Yes, sir.
0, we have -1, we have +1, we have -2, we have +2, right? So x less than -1, so less than or equal to, so vertical line, and x can take any value from here. X greater than plus 1. So any value from here. And x also lies between -2 and 2. -2 and +2. So what are the acceptable values of x here? If you see x can lie between -2 and -1, right? Inclusive of
Yes, sir.
-2 and -1 also. What is the next value that x can lie? This value, right?
1, 2.
That means 1, 2. Closed interval, because they can x can take value equal to 1 and equal to 2. Okay, fine. The next one, number 6. Given here, fx is equal to square root of 1 plus log 1 minus x to the base e. Okay, natural log. So what is the condition here? First of all, whatever is within the radical has to be, and obviously, you know the set a and b. If nothing is given, you accept that to be the set of real numbers. I have not written in the last problems also, but obviously a and b are real numbers if nothing is given. Okay, so if 1 plus log 1 minus x has to be positive, isn't it? So we must have 1 plus log 1 minus x to the base e has to be positive, but it can also be equal to 0, right? And what else is the condition? That whatever is within the log has to be positive, right? Now let's see what these conditions give us. Any other condition? I don't think so. Log 1 minus x to the base e is greater than or equal to 0. Sorry, -1. That means now from the definition of log, you get 1 minus x is equal to e to the power of, sorry, greater than or equal to e to the power of -1. So you get 1 minus x is greater than or equal to 1 by e. That means uh, minus x is greater than or equal to 1 by e minus 1. Now if you multiply both sides by -1, you get x less than or equal to minus 1 by e minus 1. That means x less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by e. Okay, this is one condition. And the next condition is 1 minus x greater than 0. So that means 1 must be greater than x. That means x must be less than 1. So now if you see, I told you the approximate value of e here is always the approximate value of e is 2.73. E is actually an irrational number. E can also be expanded as an infinite series, okay, which you don't have, which the the HS people have, the Madhyamik people, Ucha Madhyamik people, they have. So they have that series. But for the time being, you just remember that E is approximate value of E is 2.73. So now if you see, if I combine these two conditions, 1 minus 1 by E is always less than 1, isn't it? So if I combine this condition and this condition, that means what do I get? I simply get x less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by E, isn't it? Because if x less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by E, x will always be equal less than 1. So combining these two conditions, I simply
Yes.
get x less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by E. So that means if x is less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by E, what does it mean? It belongs to what interval? From minus infinity till what value it can take? 1 minus 1 by E. And because there is an equality sign, that is why you put a box bracket there, right? Let me not put a bracket here. So therefore, what is the domain of f? minus infinity 1 minus 1 by e. Okay, this is a semi-open interval. Okay, next one. Number 7. Given here is fx is equal to sine inverse 3 minus x by ln. What is ln? ln is the natural log. If I have not mentioned this, please note this. Okay, note log x to the base e, natural log, is also written as ln x. Okay, please note this. So whenever I write ln x, remember it means natural log. Okay, and x belongs to R, obviously. Nothing is given. So what are the restrictions here? In this case, if you see the restriction, the first restriction is that 3 minus x must lie between minus 1 and 1. This is the first restriction. So that means if you subtract 3 from both sides, or let me just do it separately. That means you have minus 1 less than or equal to 3 minus x and 3 minus x, because there's a minus x involved. That is why I'm doing it separately. That means you have minus 1 minus 3 less than or equal to minus x, and you have 3 minus 1 less than or equal to x. So you have minus 6 less than or equal to minus x, and you have 2 less than or equal to x. So you have, now if you multiply both sides by minus 1, you get 6 greater than or equal to x. And if you reverse this, you get x greater than or equal to 2. Now if you reverse this, you get x less than or equal to 6 and x greater than or equal to 2. Right? This is the first condition that you are getting here. Okay, that is x has to be greater than 2 and it has to be less than 6. That means x must lie between 2 and 6. Right? This is the first condition. What is the next condition? That whatever is within the log here, this has to be positive. Right? So also mod x minus 2 has to be greater than 0. Right? And
Yes, sir.
that means mod x has to be greater than 2. That means if mod x is greater than 2, what does it mean? That x must lie between x has to be less than minus 2 and x has to be greater than 2. See, you can note here, I'm running out of time actually. Okay, fine, I'll complete this sum next day.